Over the last 24 hours, we have heard that there has been a 6.3 earthquake, over 100 earthquakes that have rattled California. We're seeing earthquakes in the United States from coast to coast, and a 100-foot tsunami wave that has hit Alaska. It's been absolutely incredible. I'm going to share with you the latest coming out today, August 14th, 2025, regarding earthquakes, tsunamis, natural disasters happening around the world. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now you can see here, magnitude 6.3 earthquake has affected the Solomon Islands area today, August the 14th. Now, in addition to that, take a look, more articles coming out on this. You can see significant magnitude 6.3 earthquake, 106 kilometers south of Lata Solomon Islands. Now, also, more than 100 earthquakes have shaken Northern California in an overnight swarm, as I mentioned, in the last 24 hours. California absolutely being rattled. California rocked by a rapid succession of earthquakes. You can see August 14th, 2025. And also, why are there so many earthquakes at the Geysers Northern California geothermal field? Let me know your thoughts. What is going on? Why are we seeing so many earthquakes and of huge magnitudes hitting all at once? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. You can see San Francisco being hit over and over and over. All of these dated today, August the 14th, 2025. And take a look, as I mentioned, tsunami causing slide was the largest in decade. Earthquake Center finds this coming out over the weekend. Now I'm going to give you the details on this. A massive 100-foot wave. Now this was not caused by the earthquakes. This was caused by a massive landslide. I'm going to give you the details. You can see Alaska Earthquake Center has said that Sunday's tsunami causing slide was the largest in a decade, a massive wave of 100 feet. An earthquake reported also in western North Carolina Thursday morning, as I mentioned, from coast to coast in the United States. Earthquakes are shaking the nation. East Coast earthquake, hundreds report shaking near Columbus, North Carolina, late Thursday morning today. And man, let me know your thoughts. It appears that the world is shaking all over right now. Over 100 earthquakes in California. Coast to coast, we are seeing quakes. 6.3 magnitude hitting this morning, Thursday, August 14, 2025. And a 100-foot tsunami wave hits the coast of Alaska due to a massive landslide. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What is going on here? And I've been saying it every time I've been doing these earthquake updates. Since we saw that 8.8 happen in Russia, we've been seeing massive magnitude earthquakes hitting, and I've been posing the question, what is going on here? Are these just natural disasters? Some people are saying that now we're realizing that earthquakes are being caused by solar flares, solar mass ejections that are being emitted from the sun, coronal mass ejections, and as a result, it is causing the core of our Earth, the tectonic plates, to shake, to move. We're seeing volcanoes erupting in what has been described as a parade of volcanoes in the Pacific Ring of Fire, earthquakes, tsunamis. Is this natural? If it is, put 1. If this is God warning us about something, put a 2. These are the things people have been messaging me. Also, number 3, if you think that this started because Russia had an underground nuclear test that went wrong, and that's why we saw that 8.8, or put a 4 if you think that this is weather manipulation by man that is now causing what appears to be natural disasters. These are all the things that I've heard messaged to me on various platforms. Let me know your thoughts. 1, natural. 2, it's God. 3, it's a nuclear test that went bad. Or 4, this is manipulated weather control. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, while you drop those 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, and in fact, all I see are 2s right now, people saying this is a message from God. While you're dropping those, do me a favor, if you haven't done so yet, take a second, hit that like button while we're live. Just help spread this out further while we're live on the channel. Now, I'm going to get you the latest, and as always, all the articles are going to be cited, sourced. I'm going to put it on the screen, read right from it. You're going to be able to see the dates, who wrote them, try to hold myself to the highest level of accountability here on the channel so you know exactly that this is the latest information. Also, if this is your first time here, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. I'll keep you up to speed on all of this going on. And if you missed my live stream earlier today is the 90th anniversary of the Social Security Administration, Donald Trump signing the declaration celebrating the 90th anniversary, and also making it official that almost 90% of those that collect Social Security, they're going to get it tax-free. because of that $6,000 deduction that was included in that big, beautiful bill. They're saying pretty much declaring no taxes on Social Security. Even those that will pay taxes, they'll get a $6,000 deduction on their claims as well. So regardless, whatever the breaking news is that's coming out, I will keep you up to date here on the channel. So do me a favor, if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button. If you see how many people are live with us right now, on my end, it looks like 2,500. If I could get half of the room to hit the like button while we're live, it helps the live stream a ton. I would appreciate it. If you don't see it yet at 12:50 and you like the update, please do so. Also, wanted to mention that if you're concerned about natural disasters or that we might be heading into another war, you're not alone. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world. And a lot of people are thinking, how am I going to be protecting my savings? And that's why today I wanted to mention to you guys, my friends over at Lear Capital. I personally have spoken to their team, and I appreciate how knowledgeable they are, low pressure they are. They've been doing this for over 25 years, handling more than $1 billion in transactions, helping people invest in gold and silver, which are historically strong hedges against inflation, market crashes, and global uncertainty and instability. So right now, Lear is offering up to $15,000 in free precious metals with qualifying purchases. When you call, you'll talk to a real person, no robots. They're going to be able to help you walk through your best options, answer any questions that you got, help you make an informed decision over at Lear Capital with my friends there. So wanted to mention them. If you want to get started, call the number on the screen or visit them at learram.com. If you're even thinking about how to protect your retirement savings portfolio right now, this is a smart time to learn more. Again, visit learram.com or call the number now. Don't wait until a mega crisis happens to take action. So thank you to my friends over at Lear. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what has been happening with the world trembling all over today, August 14th, 2025. Now, as you can see here, the latest coming out, significant magnitude 6.3 earthquake, 106 kilometers south of Lata, Solomon Islands. Now, it says just 11 minutes ago, from the time of this article coming out, a 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck near Lata, Santa Cruz Islands, Tuamotu Province, Solomon Islands. The tremor was recorded early morning on Friday, August the 15th. So on that side of the world, it's already the 15th, 2025 at 3:22 a.m. local time at a shallow depth of 10 kilometers below the surface. The event was filed by the German Research Center for Geosciences, the first seismological agency to report it. Now, our monitoring service identified a second report from the Citizen Seismograph network of Raspberry Shake, which listed the quake at magnitude 6.3 as well. A third agency, France's Réseau National de Surveillance Sismique, reported the same quake at a magnitude 5.6. Now, based on the preliminary seismic data, the quake was probably felt by many people in the area of the epicenter. It should not have caused significant damage other than objects falling from shelves, broken windows, etc. So, 6.3 magnitude. It says in Lata, the population 550, located 106 kilometers from the epicenter, the quake should have been felt as a light shaking. Volcano Discovery will automatically update magnitude and depth if these change and follow up if other significant news about the quake becomes available. If you're in the area, please send us your experience through our report mechanism. This coming out from this particular news media outlet. 6.3 magnitude, absolutely incredible. We are seeing so many 6s and 7s that have been hitting, and I'm still seeing 2s pouring into the comments. People still saying this is God trying to send us a message. Aquafana, thank you so much for that super chat. $5 at night. You can heart larger booms in the sky that cannot be explained. Even on clear nights. I am near Columbus, North Carolina. Thank you for that, Aqua. And let me know, did you feel the shaking of that earthquake today that they said happened over there in North Carolina? We're going to be taking a look at that as well. But first, let's take a look at the West Coast. Then we're going to work our way over to the East Coast. As you can see here, more than 100 earthquakes shake Northern California in an overnight swarm. Now, this article says more than 100 small earthquakes have been recorded near the Geysers geothermal field in Northern California since just after midnight Thursday, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The largest quake A magnitude 4.0 struck at 12:45 a.m. USGS seismologist Susan Hugh told the San Francisco Gate. Within minutes, several magnitude 3.0 tremblers followed, along with a cascade of much smaller ones. Hugh said that there have been 117 quakes in total, though they have been going down in magnitude, like 0.3, which is teeny tiny, they said. Now, the seismic activity does not fit neatly into one single classification. Hugh described it as a swarming sequence, not quite a typical aftershock series, but not a classic swarm either. Sometimes things blur together in terms of definitions. She said of the earthquakes, it doesn't quite fit a category cleanly. So they're saying this is a very abnormal swarm or cluster of aftershocks. She's saying, so Matt, let me know your thoughts. Are you concerned for the West Coast, for California? Are you concerned about all of the earthquakes that have been hitting as California has the San Andreas Fault and is along that Pacific Ring of Fire? If so, put yes. If no, put no. Let me know your thoughts. Now, centered in a remote area of Mendocino County north of Healdsburg, the seismic activity is clustered near the Geysers geothermal field, an area long known for quakes tied to its geothermal operations. Residents in nearby towns like Cobb and Middleton are accustomed to feeling smaller tremors, Hugh noted, and often don't bother reporting them. Now, only 36 people submitted reports for the largest quake, with 16 describing light shaking, 12 reporting light to moderate shaking, and 8 reporting weak shaking, according to the USGS Did You Feel It survey. The most reports came from Calistoga and Kelseyville, with 7 each. Now, Hugh said USGS data shows that the recent quake follow a northwest-oriented trend, though not only any fault currently mapped in that region. Though not on any faults currently mapped in that region. Now, while the sequence's location is far from the state's major fault systems, Hugh cautioned that the earthquake activity always statistically increases the odds of more activity once you're disrupting other faults, she added. There's definitely a chance that you'll have other felt earthquakes in the area. So we are seeing, as it mentioned, a swarm of over 100 earthquakes that have shaken Northern California in the last 24 hours. Still seeing twos in the comments, people saying that this is God trying to send us a warning. I also see a 4 in there, somebody saying this is weather manipulation. And you can see California rocked by rapid succession of earthquakes. Another article coming out on this, California was shaken early Thursday as a series of earthquakes struck in quick succession, raising concern in seismically active regions. The USGS reported 6 tremors ranging in magnitude from 2.6 to 4.0. The seismic activity began at 1:51 a.m. Eastern Standard Time when 4 quakes occurred within just 2 minutes. Magnitudes range from 2.6 to 4.0. These quakes, roughly 72 miles north of San Francisco, struck near the San Andreas Fault, a massive 800-mile tectonic boundary stretching from Cape Mendocino to the Salton Sea. Scientists have said that this fault is considered overdue for a big one, a magnitude 7.8 earthquake or higher, making the recent activity closely monitored. And again, we've heard warnings coming out for California to stay vigilant if you're in the area and you're along that fault. They're saying right now to be reminded because of all the activity that's happening in the Pacific Ring of Fire. Now, the Mekama Fault running north of San Rosa up to Ukiah experienced a 3.9 magnitude quake. This parallel fault system adds complexity to the region's seismic activity, with experts suggesting that the events may be part of a swarm of aftershock sequences. And the latest tremor, a 3.6 magnitude, was detected in Southern California around 9:50 a.m. There you can see just the bullseye basically over the entire state of California. Now, an assessment of the Michigan Tech University showed that people typically do not feel quakes with a magnitude 2.5 or less. Those from 2.5 to 5.4 are often felt but only cause minor damage. Residents reported light shaking, but no significant damage or injuries have been reported. Now, scientists have long kept a close eye on the San Andreas Fault, fearing that it could soon release a devastating earthquake. A 7.8 magnitude tremor could cause roughly 1,800 deaths, 50,000 injuries, and $200 billion in damages, according to the Great California Shakeout. Based on historical trends, it's estimated that the San Andreas causes a major quake every 150 or so years, and the last one was 167 years ago. So they're saying it is overdue for a big one. Now, the vast majority of the earthquakes results from the constant movement of tectonic plates, which are massive, solid slabs of rock that make up the planetary surface and shift around on top of Earth's mantle, the inner layer between the crust and the core. As the tectonic plates slowly move against each other, their edges can get stuck due to friction and stress that will build up along those edges. Now, when that stress overcomes the friction, the plates slip, causing a release of energy that travel in waves through the Earth's crust and generates that shaking that we feel on the surface. A new study from Caltech in Pasadena warned that the next big one could be even bigger than what was originally thought. They studied a 7.7 magnitude earthquake that shook Myanmar in March, along with Sajayan Fault, which is known for being eerily similar to the San Andreas. That earthquake ended up rupturing a much longer section of the fault that scientists expected, killing thousands and causing widespread damage. Future earthquakes might not simply repeat past known earthquakes, said Jean-Philippe Avoc, co-author of the study. Successive ruptures of a given fault, even as simple as a Sajayan or the San Andreas Fault, can be very difficult and can release even more than the deficit of slip since the last event. In addition, historical records are generally far too short for statistical models to represent the full range of possible earthquakes and eventual patterns in earthquake reoccurrences. The devastating earthquake hit Myanmar on March 28, 2025, killing more than 2,000 people and leaving 3,900 injured. The quake occurred when a section of the Sajayan Fault ruptured, causing widespread damage along the swath of the territory down the middle of the country, including Sajayan, Mandalay, Magway, and Bago regions in Shan State. Now, in their new study, the Caltech team used satellite imagery for the Sajayan Fault's motion to understand exactly what happened and whether a similar incident could happen in California. This earthquake turned out to be an ideal case to apply image correlation methods that were developed by our research group, the first author of the study said. They allow us to measure ground displacements at the fault where the alternative method, radar interferometry, is blind due to phenomena like decorrelation, a process of decoupled signals, and limited sensitivity to north-south displacement. Based on the studies of the previous tremors along the Sajayan Fault, the researchers expected that the earthquake would occur on a 186-mile section of the fault where no larger earthquakes had occurred since 1839. The satellite images confirmed that this was the case, but that the fault actually slipped along a total of more than 310 miles. The 310-mile section shifted a whopping 9.8 feet after that quake. Wow. Let me know your thoughts, you guys. Do you think the big one is coming? If so, put yes. If no, put no. Let me know your thoughts. But like I said, California absolutely trembling right now. Why are there so many earthquakes at the Geysers Northern California geothermal field? And again, let me know why. 1, just natural occurrences. 2, God is trying to communicate something to us. 3, there was some sort of nuclear testing underground in Russia that sparked all sorts of tectonic movement. Or number 4, if you think that this is weather manipulation, let me know in the comments. And do me a favor, we've got 3,000, almost 600 people live with me in the room. If we could get half of the room, 1,800 likes. If you haven't hit the like button yet, you don't see it at 18, please do so. Helps out the channel a ton if you appreciate the live feed. Now, also, you can see here, they said over 100 recent quakes. It is just Geyserville, California, over and over and over and over again. Now, also on the West Coast, moving a little further north, this is absolutely incredible. Massive tsunami hits Alaska, causing slide. A tsunami causing slide was the largest in decade, Earthquake Center finds. Now, it says Sunday there was a massive tsunami that occurred from a landslide in Southeast Asia, likely sent more than 100 million cubic meters of debris into an icy J-Ford and onto a prominent glacier, and one of the largest slides in at least 10 years, according to an analysis by the Alaska Earthquake Center. The rapid characterization and pinpoint of the landslide demonstrates the center's growing capability in a new area of real-time hazard analysis. The center, located at the University of Alaska Fairbanks Geophysical Institute, has been working for several years to advance its rapid characterization and detection of the landslide. The center's preliminary analysis, using a method its team has been developing, estimates that the landslide's volume is likely larger than 100 million cubic meters, equivalent to the content of 40,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools. This is the larger than anything in the past decade in Alaska. Alaskan Earthquake Center Director Michael West said, "It's going to get a lot of attention from scientists." Sunday's landslide occurred at about 5:30 a.m. at the head of Tracy Arm, where the South Sawyer Glacier reaches the water. Tracy Arm is a J-Ford located about 50 miles southeast of Juneau. So 100-foot high tsunami. Absolutely incredible. I wish I had some video footage of it. That would be absolutely incredible to see. We were able to produce a rapid location and volume estimate using seismic data as soon as we learned about this event. A researcher seismologist at the center who began analyzing the event earlier Sunday said. Heather McFarland, the center's seismic data manager, said that the landslide's energy release was approximately equivalent to that of a magnitude 5 earthquake. The slide was preceded by more than a day of the precursor signals recorded, the state's seismic stations providing a rare scientific opportunity. This may be the best documented example of such precursors, which gives us real motion to explore precursor detection in addition to ongoing monitoring, she said. Now, that they will likely be focused for us going forward. West said a possible signal that grows over hours and days before a major event would be the holy grail of hazard monitoring. And you can see in August 10, 2025, landslide in southeast Alaska sent millions of cubic meters of debris in Tracy's Arm, leaving large piles of rock and debris in the J-Ford. And you can see here the image of that area. Man, that is just incredible to imagine. Why it matters: Tracy Arm is traveled regularly by cruise ships and other sightseeing vessels carrying thousands of passengers annually. A portion of the landslide debris rolled onto Sawyer Glacier, but the rest tumbled into Tracy's Arm and created a trapped tsunami. Tsunami waves reached about 100 feet up Sawyer Island, roughly 4 miles from the landslide. People at the Harbor Island at the mouth of Tracy Arm and about 36 miles from the landslide reported 20-foot waves. Now, Karasozin and West had previously developed a method to remotely detect large landslides within minutes of occurrence and to quickly determine whether slides are close to open water and present a tsunami hazard. Now, we now have the ability to quickly analyze and report the size, the location, and the style of the landslide, West said. That opens the door for building proper warning systems. The landslide analysis system worked. Our initial location was within 7 kilometers of the ground truth location, which was confirmed Monday by Coast Guard reconnaissance, she said. It may take weeks or months to get a precise volume, but our early estimate, while uncertain, places this at the upper end of a landslide that we have detected so far. So, man, a 100-foot tsunami, that is incredible. Hitting, they're saying, over the weekend in Alaska. And here's another one. You can see Alaska Earthquake Center says Sunday's tsunami causing slide was the largest in a decade. A 100-foot wave at the Sawyer Island. Harbor Island reports 20-foot waves. So these are going to be linked in the description below if you'd like to read more about that 100-foot tsunami. But now let's go ahead and jump over to the East Coast, where there was an earthquake in North Carolina today as well. As you can see, earthquakes reported in western North Carolina Thursday morning. So again, for those of you hopping on a little bit late, we have seen a 6.3 magnitude earthquake hit today over in Solomon Islands. Also, here's another report on that. We saw 100 earthquakes hit the San Francisco area. All throughout California, we saw massive earthquakes not massive, but earthquakes over and over hitting. And they're asking the question, why are so many earthquakes hitting California at this time? And if you just search earthquake right now, you will just see earthquake after earthquake reported for California. And as I mentioned, staying on the West Coast, tsunami causing landslide caused a 100-foot tsunami wave to hit in Alaska. And also today, jumping over to the East Coast, an earthquake reported in western North Carolina Thursday morning. The mountains of North Carolina were shaken with an earthquake Thursday morning. Now it says an earthquake shook North Carolina. The North Carolina mountains Thursday morning. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the earthquake struck 4.4 miles north of Columbus, North Carolina at 11:14 a.m. Thursday, August the 14th today. Columbus is a town in Polk County with 994 residents. It is located about 15 miles from Hendersonville, North Carolina. As of 12:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there have been 551 reports of the earthquake being felt. There have been reports of damage as well. Let's take a look at this one with a little bit more information for us. East Coast earthquake. Hundreds report shaking near Columbus, North Carolina late Thursday morning. Columbus, North Carolina residents in Polk County reported light shaking early Wednesday after a magnitude 2.7 earthquake struck just north of Columbus around 11:14 a.m. local time. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the tremor occurred roughly 7 kilometers north of Columbus at a shallow depth of 5.6 kilometers. While minor, more than half a dozen people submitted a "Did you feel it?" response, indicating mild vibrations, especially in areas west of Charlotte and along the South Carolina border. Now, no damage or injuries have been reported, and emergency management agencies have not issued any alerts. Light earthquakes like this are not uncommon in western North Carolina, which lies near several minor faults lines running throughout the Blue Ridge region. Experts from the University of Memphis Center for Earthquake Research and Information confirmed the quake as part of their regional monitoring program. Residents are reminded that even small tremors can occasionally cause objects to fall or rattle in homes. It's a good idea to secure heavy furniture and review basic earthquake safety steps, especially for those living near known seismic zones. No aftershocks have been reported, but the USGS continues to monitor for additional seismic activity in the region. So there you have it. And wow, just earthquake after earthquake being reported. Like I said, a magnitude 6.3 hitting today, and coast to coast, we are seeing earthquakes, and California being shaken with over 100 earthquakes in the last 24 hours. A massive swarm hitting Northern California, San Francisco. And let me know, have you felt any of these tremblings that have been being reported from coast to coast in the United States? And we also saw not too long ago a lot of them in Southern California, New York, New Jersey being hit with earthquakes as well. We have seen earthquakes in Turkey, earthquakes in Russia. There were tsunami warnings before for Japan and the West Coast when that 8.8 hit. We saw a 7.0 hit again in Russia. We have been seeing these left and right all over Guam, Guatemala, and it just seems like the earth is just shaking nonstop right now. Tectonic plates are moving. We heard there's a parade of volcanoes. A whole lot of activity right now in the earth. It is just shaking. It is quivering right now. I see Jay Paradise saying, thank you, Steve, for all the updates and the knowledge in the Bay Area stands with you. Thank you so much. And I see those praying hands. Appreciate that a ton. And do me a favor, just need 5 more likes to get 2,000 while we're live. I see we had about 4,000 people, I think, on with me. Not quite. But you are very welcome. I see people saying thank you. Earthquakes just mean the earth is alive, says the gangsta Dave. Thank you for that, Dave. Yeah, and let me know, is this 1 for you? Just natural occurrence? 2, God is trying to say something? 3, this might be a Russian nuclear underground test that went bad and sparked a ton of volcanoes and earthquakes? Or 4, weather manipulation? Let me know your thoughts. These are the things that people have been telling me, messaging me, saying that is potentially occurring here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you haven't done so yet. And I will continue to keep you up to date on all of this, because it seems like there has not been a slowing down, but a speeding up ever since we saw that 8.8 magnitude earthquake strike in Russia. Things are getting intense. Now, in addition to that, speaking of Russia, I believe it is tomorrow that we're going to be seeing Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin having that meeting regarding war and conflict with Russia and Ukraine. There's been a lot of threats, World War III, nuclear rhetoric. Stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to keep you up to date on all of that as well. And if you missed the last video I did earlier today, some news on Social Security. And also, as I mentioned, thank you to my friends over at Lear Capital. If you're interested in investing in gold or silver, you're going to want to check them out. I'm going to put their information in the description down below and pin a comment for you if you're interested. Free to call them up, get information, do your due diligence. They'll walk you through the process. Free information, no obligation. Thank you to Lear Capital making that available. But that is the latest, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If there are more major earthquakes, whatever unfolds, I'll be sure to report it for you here on the channel. But that is the latest. Thank you for joining me. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.